What's going on? Hope all is well in the land for you people. Um, I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about people, people in this world. There are basically two types of people in this world. There are players and there are characters. What kind of person are you? Are you a player or are you a character? Don't before we you get into any kind of misunderstandings, this world is overrun with characters, all kind of characters according to people's definitions. Some are good, some are bad, but the players, however, in this world are very few and far in between. And the players are the people that really matter. They actually see and understand what's going on from a greater level of understanding. They have a high degree of common sense and they navigate themselves in this world accordingly. They use their common sense. When it comes to this world and the behavioral patterns of people, the characters, good and evil, the good characters do their best to follow the rules and whatnot. The bad characters, they profess to follow the rules, but they're sneaky, sly, and they do evil things when they know nobody ain't looking. And they're always preaching good things and whatnot. When it comes to the characters, the good and the evil, they clash with each other constantly. You see so-called good people that are characters, but they can't recognize the fact that it's unnecessary to war with the bad characters. So they keep the whole war, the fighting, the bickering, all the illusions, they keep it all alive, even though they're the good characters. The players, however, don't get involved. Every now and then, the players get picked on by both the good and the bad. You should choose a side. You should choose a political party. You should join this religion or that movement. But the players know better. The players are actually the ones that are doing things behind the scene to make the world a better place. To make the world a better place for future players, not for the characters, not for the masses that are the characters, but just for the handful of players that come along after them. Because that's who this world is for. Characters are born into this world, both the good and the bad, who are conditioned by their environment and what have you, whatever, their upbringing, their condition, they're mechanical creatures. And they are expendable. The players, however, are watched over by higher benevolent forces. And they are the ones that are actually handpicked, destined to ascend to a greater level. Whereas when humanity in history runs its full circle and everybody and everything is destroyed, perhaps all the characters will eventually be reincarnated to back to this level of existence. That's a topic for another talk. But the players are here and they move on to a higher level. after this life. So, which are you? Are you a player or are you a character? Are you really doing something significant for the betterment of everybody? Are you seeing all these people walking around sleepwalking, whether they're good or bad? Whether you see somebody on an elevator and they frown at you for holding the door, they think they were going to go up the elevator, you catch it right before it closes and it annoys them. Or in that same elevator scenario, you're running to the elevator and the person in the elevator smiles at you, makes you feel good about yourself, and they even hold a button or the door so you can get in, so you won't be late wherever you're going to go. Both those people, whether good or bad, they're like players. They could be players. That don't necessarily mean that they're not, I'm sorry, characters. Both those people are like characters, mechanical characters. But what about you? What are you doing aside from what's normal and expected? Like constantly paying attention to social media. I mean, we all got to work, go to work, pay our bills, whether you're a character or a player. I mean, that's the structure of this matrix. But what are you doing aside from the norm? And yes, religious people are characters. You got masses of people that get themselves assimilated in a church. And they have the nerve to say that they're building the kingdom of God or what have you. Nah, those are just characters. They're going nowhere fast. For the most part, players don't even join religions and cliques and that kind of thing. They don't. The real children of God, they really are kind of behind the scenes. They're not on lofty pulpits preaching to masses or doing anything like that. They're not sweating politics because they have a governor that's far beyond the nonsense of this world. You know, it really is like a video game, this world. Let's say a video game, so, kind of like Super Mario Brothers. And Mario, obviously, I guess he's considered a player. Yet, he is what he is because if you ever played the video game, you would be that higher benevolent force that's controlling Mario. Nevertheless, you got all the little characters, the side characters. Some steal his life force or take him out completely. Others energize him and make him grow and whatnot. Whether good or bad, those are little side characters in a video game. And life is just like that for the players. They run into people that try to steal their life force, and they run into other people that actually energize them. That's the way it's designed. That's the way this grand console we call planet Earth is designed. But it's designed and built only for a tiny few players. The characters are just built into the matrix. Are you a copycat type person living your life the way most people are, assimilated into some kind of group, mechanically behaving repetitiously, watching time drift away? Or are you a player that's actually doing something different, something nobody else is doing? not assimilated. Your soul isn't assimilated in any group, any religions, whether you work for a corporation or not. Your soul is not assimilated into that because you see what's going on. You see all these characters that dedicated their lives to these worldly matrices like corporate America, like the Christian church, what these groups like the Masons and that kind of stuff. All these things are going to collapse at the end. They're going to collapse and revert back to the dust of the earth. Only the players, the true players, will ascend to the next level. What are you doing different? How are you living? Are you consistently living from that still small voice, receiving that instruction that's showing you where to go, how to navigate, giving you that sixth sense of who's good and who's evil out of all these characters, so you'll know who to go to get energized and who to avoid so you won't get drained. Are you aware? If you're not truly aware, then chances are you're just a character and you're part of this video game console that's been built by a higher intelligence that we call planet Earth, but that don't mean it calls it planet Earth. Are you one of those people that are desperately trying to chase after the dollar? You could be a character. Hopefully, if you're a character, you're at least a good character, not an evil one that's looking to mooch, leech, and drain the players. Anyway, think about it. You know what's funny? This glare in my glasses, I noticed that usually I take off my glasses when I do a little video, but I kept them on this time. I thought it would be appropriate for this particular discussion. Pretty cool, huh? Video game character. What am I? We'll find out. Anyway, I'm Dario Thomas. I am the author of the books of Spiritology. If you are uncertain whether or not you are a player or a character, there's good news. You can be transformed into a player. If you have the tendencies of a character, you can be totally transformed into a player until such a time you too will be able to ascend to the next level of life, a greater level of life, to live a better, happier life. And spiritology is the system. The Power of Spiritology by Dario Thomas. On sale at Amazon.com. Get you a copy. You won't be sorry. Whether you play or a character, God bless.